Let me tell you a story from my past. I was once a proud samurai, known for my honor and courage. My life was dedicated to fighting for justice, protecting the weak, and upholding what was right. One day I decided to seek wisdom beyond the battlefield and visited a Zen monk, a man whose reputation for serenity and deep understanding reached far and wide. As soon as I entered the temple and saw him meditating, I felt something I had never experienced before. A sense of inferiority washed over me. Despite all the battles I had fought and all the lives I had saved, standing before this peaceful monk made me feel as if none of it mattered. I waited until he finished his prayers and then asked him directly, "Why do I feel so small in your presence? I've faced death countless times, defended the helpless, and have nothing to regret. Yet seeing you here, in this state of peace, makes me question my entire existence." The monk looked at me and calmly said, "I will answer your question, but first, let me tend to the people who have come to seek my guidance today." So I sat in the garden, watching the steady flow of people entering and leaving the temple. I noticed how the monk greeted each one with patience, offering his wisdom with the same gentle smile. As the day wore on, I began to grow restless. I'm a man of action, not one used to sitting idle. When the sun had finally set and the last visitor had left, the monk called me inside. We walked into his room, and the full moon shone brightly in the sky. The stillness of the night seemed to echo the calm that filled the air. "Do you see the moon?" the monk asked me. "It's beautiful, isn't it? It will travel across the sky all night, and come morning, the sun will rise again, shining brilliantly. The sun's light reveals every detail of the world, mountains, trees, and clouds. For years I've watched both the sun and the moon, and I've never heard the moon say, 'Why do I not shine as brightly as the sun?' I thought for a moment, then replied, 'Of course not. The sun and the moon are different. They each have their own beauty. You can't compare them.' The monk smiled and said, 'Exactly. You and I are like the sun and the moon. We each have our own way of contributing to the world. I meditate and you fight for justice. Both paths are necessary and both are valuable. Don't let appearances fool you into thinking one is better than the other.' He paused for a moment, then added, 'You must embrace your strengths. Use the gifts you've been given to make the world a better place, but don't compare yourself to others. There's no single way to serve. Just follow your path with purpose.' That day, I learned a valuable lesson, that we all have our own role to play in life. Whether we fight or meditate, teach or heal, we each contribute in our own way. There's no need to feel inferior because our paths look different.